All right, so upon entering the courthouse, you begin to see the document displays, Ten Commandments, Magna Carta. That's on the right, and then the history of the national motto, and then Lady Justice.
Yeah, right here at the entrance, that's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Where's your office at? You went to what is it?
No, they're right in here.
Ah.
Oh,
Okay. And then the Mayflower Compact, and the Declaration of Independence, and the Bill of Rights, the preamble to the Georgia Constitution, and the Star Spangled Banner.
Have for people to remember, because we just forget about all these things or don't want to remember them anyway. So just glad that we're able to have these available for our citizens. And I'm going to turn it over to Chris McCorkle, who he along with his family are making this possible for us. So Chris.
Good morning. I think we all recognize that we're approaching this season of Thanksgiving right now, and we certainly should be thankful that we live in the greatest country on the face of the planet. And, you know, while we live in the greatest country on the face of the planet, some of us have the privilege of calling Warren County home, and I'm one of those. We, as a family, we're about to celebrate 75 years as a business, and we wanted to do something to commemorate that, and in doing so, make contributions to the areas that are very important to us, Warren County being one of those. We, as a family, along with about 200 employee families, some of whom call Warren County home, really thought it would be special to do something like we're commemorating today. I find it very interesting that Warren County on December the 16th will celebrate 224 years as a county. And we were just over in McDuffie County, and I find it especially interesting that McDuffie County owes its existence to Warren County and its generosity, along with some other counties as well. Several months ago, Skeeter, my cousin, was approached by Miss Linda Brown about Ten Commandments Georgia. And Ten Commandments Georgia is the organization that's responsible for promoting the display of the documents that we're going to celebrate today. And it, you know, I believe in God's providence in everything, and we were thinking of a way that we as a business could celebrate again our anniversary, and there's just no more fitting way to do that and give something back to the communities that are important to us. And so in going back and forth, we ultimately decided to do this, and we're honored today to have Congressman Hice join us, who was really kind of the father of Ten Commandments Georgia and bringing all this together. And it was a result of him making a courageous stand over in Barrow County to defend the county's right to display the Ten Commandments. And as I'm sure we're all familiar, we're very proud to call him our congressman. He's many times exhibited that same courage in Washington representing his constituents. And he did so and took a courageous stand along with a lot of other people in defending the display of the Ten Commandments in Georgia. But I'm not going to steal his thunder. I'm going to let him tell us a bit more about that. And again, we're just honored to have you, and we're just grateful that we can play a part in the display of these documents.
Y'all for making this possible. Y'all come around. You know, sneaking up behind me. Somebody from Washington doesn't get comfortable. But now listen, it's you know, there's a lot of folks that have been involved in this, and Linda, you'll hear from in a few moments. Tom Rush now heads up Ten Commandments Georgia, but you know, this did start just as a pastor in a church, and our church put the Ten Commandments up in our county, in Barrow County, and the ACLU came after us, and that's what started this whole thing. And we started Ten Commandments Georgia to defend that legal battle. Took 2 years. We lost the case after hundreds of thousands of dollars raised, and but then the focus shifted the state of Georgia, and another 6-year-long battle it was, but it was just one of the highlights of my life is being in the governor's office there in 2012 when he signed a law saying that this 9-document historical display is legal in any government building in the state of Georgia. And even if there is a lawsuit, the state will defend it, not the county. And so this display went right back up in Barrow County, and it's there now. And that started what has become, with the great leadership of Tom Rush and Linda on the board of 10 Commandments and many others, these displays are going up all over our state. And it's just an incredible honor to be associated and to be able to come back from Washington and be a part of this kind of ceremony. It just, I can't tell you the thrill that it is. And I just want to thank all the commissioners, everybody who's been involved in making this happen. It's wonderful, and hats off to every one of you. But I'll turn it over to Tom Rush. I don't know Dr. Rush, he's just doing an outstanding job on multiple fronts, but 10 Commandments Georgia, that brings us all here today. And so Tom, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Congressman Hice. Well, it's a joy to have the privilege of being Executive Director of 10 Commandments Georgia. And of course, we would not be where we are today had it not been for all the efforts of Congressman Hice back in the day and getting 10 Commandments Georgia started. Our goal is that the 10 Commandments would be known, obeyed, and displayed all over our state. We want the citizens of our state to know what the 10 Commandments are. I also work with Georgia Baptist Convention as a lobbyist, and so I spend a lot of time at the Capitol. These documents are displayed in our state capitol, and often as we're walking through the Capitol by the display, we'll see people standing there reading these documents. And that's how you can't obey something you don't know, right? And so we really believe that getting these documents up in our public buildings around the state will help people come to know what the 10 Commandments are and how they serve as a foundation for all these other documents that were part of the founding of our nation on the Word of God. And so it's very important. It is a citizen movement, and so we're very grateful for the McCorkle family. Thank you all for what you've done in both of these counties here. Our goal is to see the commandments and this historical display in every county in Georgia. And one of the interesting things about the process of this is that initially the law as it was being written was to put the commandments in the courthouses. And that was objected to, and so what came out in the end was they can be in any public building, including your schools. And so if citizens raise the money, the government can't buy the documents, but if citizens raise the money, these could go up. You could have these in every school in Warren County if you wanted to. So 10commandmentsga.org is our website if you want to know more about our work. We're always looking for people to help us on our board. And were we ever delighted when Linda Brown came into our sites and called us and was interested. Linda is an historian and she knows these documents. She can not only get them hung on the wall, she can tell you what they mean. And we're very grateful for her work, and she really spearheaded the effort here in the local community. So I want Linda just to share with you a little bit of her passion for 10 Commandments.
Yes, as I said, when most of you all were there at the last, the dedication over in McDuffie County, is that my passion comes from, number one, my love for God. It next comes from my love for my family, which they couldn't be here today because we've been out of town until midnight last night in Dollywood for the last 3 days. So I'm barely standing today, okay? And that's okay, I'm here. And my daughter said, "Oh, do you have to get up and go in the morning?" I said, "Yes, I have to be there." And for my country, yeah, I'm very proud of my country, and it's at a time where there are many people that aren't so proud of our country. But when we were at that last dedication over there in McDuffie County, there was a gentleman that came up to me, and he wasn't familiar with these documents like a lot of us are because we just kind of grew up with them, okay? But he wasn't, and he had a lot of questions about them. He doesn't know about the 10 Commandments, you know? But he was he asked me questions very humbly and honestly and had an inquisitive mind to know. And the thing is that we can put the documents up, but we have to tell about the documents. We have to teach about them. recently I was studying with one of my grandchildren, it was up in Charlotte area, and she had a test on the founding of America. And I was trying to teach her about it because I used to live in Plymouth where the Pilgrims landed. I went there actually to learn more about the founding of America and studied under a historian there. So it's something very near and dear to my heart. And so I noticed, I saw her test when she brought it home, and it said, why did the English colonize America? And the answer on the test was because they wanted gold and resources. And I thought, that's not the truth, okay? Which leads me to something else. As I told you, for me, my first passion is God, my family, my country, but I have a passion for truth, and I always have had. It took me a long time to be found by truth, but I was, and then it became a search for how to teach that truth to other people. And so when this kind of came along, or the door opened up in my life to be a part of this, I was so grateful. Because really, and the reason why I didn't get the documents put up beginning with the 10 Commandments, because the basic question is, do our rights come from God, or do they come from government? If they come from government, then they're not absolute. They can change with each administration. So, or every man can do what's right in his own eyes. So there either are absolutes or there aren't. I firmly believe that there are absolutes, but those aren't being taught. And so my goal is to see these up in as many courthouses as we can in our state, and that our state would become a light to other states in this country. That's what the Pilgrims did when they came over. They said that may the candle that they lit there be a light to many thousands and to generations to come. And it has been. But we have to continue to do that. We have to continue to not just learn them, we have to fight to preserve them, to understand them, and to realize why they're so important. Because really, the source of truth is either God or it's man. And you have to choose which one. And so that to me is what's so important about getting the documents up, getting them displayed, but also teaching them. So I think of it as a classroom in a courthouse. So my plan is, when I can finish my own studies of getting from the beginning of where law began to where it is now, to bring groups to the courthouse and teach them about these principles. And these documents are a testimony to that truth that I told you that I long searched for. And so we have to know them in order to preserve this nation. We are living at a very critical time in history. And the future of freedom is really in front of us right now. What's going to happen? Are we going to go back into really darkness and barbarism? Or are we going to move forward in the light of freedom? But only if we can come to the foundation, back to that foundation again, is it that our rights come from God. He is the source of truth. He's the source of law. That is our hope. And we have hope. But we have to fight for it.
Amen.
So thank you. I am just thankful to be a part of this organization. Everybody here is a part of that. Deborah, right there. Nobody's acknowledged Deborah, but let me tell you, Deborah and I go to the same church. And one day we were talking, and I said, well, I'm not sure which county I'm going to go to next. I said, I'm thinking about McDuffie. I said, do you know anybody in McDuffie County? She goes, oh, yes, I know the McCorkle family, and they are wonderful Christian people. Let me give them a call. So she opened that door for me. And then they opened the door to getting the documents and dedicating them today. And then Mr. Hice, who's the chairman. So I'm just a little cog in the bigger picture, and even a smaller grain of sand on the shores of all of time. So I'm grateful to be here. And I'm thankful for each one of you, and I'm looking forward to getting to know you better. So thank you very much.
And Ms. Brown has been working with us for several months to make sure we get this done, and was able to get these hung. So we're just thankful. Commissioner Johnson's here. I want to recognize her and being a part of helping us get this done. So thank you, and especially Congressman Hice. Thank you for always being here. Appreciate all your services you do. So, thank y'all. They're on those two walls and these two walls, so everybody make sure you check them out. So thank y'all.
Thank you.